Welcome to OC3D TV. Now, it seems to be the norm or like the in thing at the moment to have one of these introductions to the channel. So I thought it was about time that I spent a little bit of time trying to explain to the newcomers to the channel what me, the team are all about. Now, there is only me that works at TTL Towers. TTL does stand for Tiny Tom Logan and Time to Live. And I suppose I own Overclock 3D, or OC3D as it's now being morphed into, and OC3D TV, which is the channel that you're watching at the moment. Now we do things a little bit differently. They say that the MTV generation, which is technically you guys watching YouTube and watching YouTube videos and stuff like that, only have the attention span to watch a music video, which is, they say, around 3 to 4 minutes tops. Well, I'm probably going to double that with this video because I take things from a completely different perspective, and I assume that if you're here wanting to watch about hardware and the latest kind of tech, I'm assuming that you're interested enough in this stuff that you are considering it as a possible purchase. So if you're looking at spending, $200 on a case or $500 on a graphics card, or even down to the itty bitty small stuff, and probably the people that want to spend a lot less money, value their money a lot more, means that you're going to be researching your hardware. And I will go into a great deal of detail explaining the ins and outs of a duck's bum. But the problem is when I start doing that, we often end up going off on tangents, and I end up explaining to you a lot more about the background of the hardware, or expanding on overclocking options, modding options with cases, which I'll show you in a minute. And it's more the way I like to do things. Is I like to put the camera down in front of me like I have now, and treat talking to you guys like I would like I would just talk to a friend. And a lot of the regulars kind of say that we have almost like an over the internet or over the camera style friendship. But one thing I did want to kind of share with you, and this is a pretty good analogy in the way that I do my videos, and this has come from forum members on the Overclock 3D website. They say, because one of the things that we do is when we have videos, a lot of the regulars will pause the video, let it buffer in 1080p, and then we end up, what they'll do is they'll go off and they'll get some snacks, they'll get a cup of tea, they'll get a coffee, they get some Coke, they get a beer. And one of the ways that we've come to try and explain the difference between my videos and some of the other ones, you know, the people that really haven't got a lot to say and just reading the tech specs and not actually reviewing the hardware at all. They're just telling you stuff off of a press release, or they're just telling you stuff because they've watched other people's videos and they don't really have any proper thoughts themselves. But anyway, we do things a little bit differently. If you watch one of those short videos, then this is kind of the cup that you're going to need to get through, and you just need a little espresso cup, and that's the quality, you know, that's the size of their video, that's the size of the drink you'll need to make your way through it. With an average video, or one of my short ones, you need a normal cup. And with the cup, you have a normal cup of tea, that's it, lovely bubbly. When you get to one of my normal reviews, you're going to be into the kind of realms of this. So to kind of give you the difference, you've got this one, which is pretty much a pint, and then this one's just an espresso. But when we get to the feature length stuff, which is when things go completely nuts and we've got big cases or big motherboards and stuff like that, you're going to be needing to refill this little puppy as well. Now, I have got some stuff scattered around the office that I'm going to show you today, just to kind of give you an idea of the type of stuff that we do get on with, and then hopefully that will whet your appetite enough that if you haven't already, you find the subscribe button. So one of the things we do is we are starting to do a lot more power supply testing videos, and I do have a proper sun moon tester. The laptop on the top is just what we run our oscilloscope through, so that we've got a decent kind of size readout display on it. But we can do up to about 1500 watt pushing the unit, but I tend to stick up to about 1200 watts to keep things safe. Some of the stuff we've got coming up in the next few weeks, which means this video is going to be out of date within no time, is we've got an XFX passive power supply that we're going to be doing. We've also got the XFX R9290 in. We've got a couple of SanDisk 480GB Extreme Pro solid state drives. We've actually just done the M6E. It's a PCI Express solid state drive, but it's also M2. And we've got the Essence STX2. One of the written reviews that we're going to be doing is the new AMD APU. That's there to be done in the not too distant future. And this is one of our test rigs. On the left hand side, or the right hand side I should appear, and inside is the Asus Maximus 7 formula. We've got that in there at the moment being tested, and just to turn the lights off, you can see that when we, where we are enthusiasts and we like custom parts just as much as you guys, we thought it was about time that we started using custom components or custom case in our system as in a part of our test rig as well. So that's our own custom modified Corsair 540 Air, but that actually leads us nicely on. So I'm trying to stay out of shot as much as possible. We've left the lights off, but we're banging back on just so that the camera can kind of get used to it. Now this case is a Corsair 760T. This is our graphics card test system. We did the graphics just because we thought it was about time that we started using something slightly different. Stand our reviews out. There's no way that you can confuse this. And we've got bonkers graphics over all of it, and we love it. This was actually at the iSeries show last year as well. The one in the middle is a test system, or rather it's going to be the home server that we're going to be doing in the not too distant future. We've got a crazy amount of Western Digital drives going in there. There's going to be 10 4 terabyte Western Digital Reds going in there. We've got a RAID card with 12 gigabytes a second on each port going in that, so there's going to be no bottlenecking with the drives whatsoever. We're going to be teaming up Ethernets and all kinds of stuff, and that's going to be like a slow burner that I dip into, because this is something that I have a personal interest in, and it gives me something to do other than just testing motherboards and stuff all the time. And then the one on the end is our baby Bit Phoenix. This is actually an Anoxia DS1 before anybody asks. We've got the baby Bit Phoenix at the end. It's a Phenom. It's a case that we did for MSI. It was a bit of a kind of like a last minute type thing with that one. We did it quickly because we wanted to show off the MITX stuff for MSI, and basically that case was almost made for the Dragon because it goes right the way down the side of the case. And the idea was you've got 2 Dragons on either side. So hopefully you can see that, you know, I just as much an enthusiast as the rest of you. Yes, I do get to play with lots of hardware and stuff, and yes, I do make extremely long videos, but we do things with a bit of a twist. We stretch it out. We do, yeah, it's just like that. There is no script or anything like that either, and I often leave all of my mistakes in. Right then, so as I've said, we don't generally write scripts or anything like that. I often leave a lot of the mistakes in because, hey, it's just my way of splurging to the camera, and I generally just let my thoughts fall out. So I apologise if it takes a little bit longer. It's just my way of doing things. A lot of the time with the longer videos, you do end up learning a few things along the way as well, or at least that's what I hope. It's certainly the reason why I do it. But don't forget, if you're here for a video this long, then I'm sorry, you're not going to be getting it. At very best, you're going to get a cup of tea's worth out of me, or a cup of coffee's worth out of me. But more often than not, you're going to need to get yourself a big juicy mug and probably lots of snacks and food to get you through it as well. A lot of the time, one of these won't even be enough. But that is the OC3D way. If that's the type of video that you're here to look for, you're actually interested in hardware, you don't just want to skim over it, you actually want to learn a few things, get to know some of the stuff that goes on in the background with the industry, because a lot of the time I get in a lot of trouble for telling people stuff like that. And I'm also quite famed for speaking my mind as well. I've had no end of fallouts with people because if something's shit, then I'm quite open about saying it as well. So if you would like to come on the roller coaster journey, and that is the OC3D TV way of hardware, click that subscribe button, and I'd like to hear from you in the comments very soon. But for now at least, this is Tiny Tom Logan with maybe the first time you've seen me sign off, which is ding! Yeah, And then a lot of the time people would expect the videos to end, but quite a lot of the time they don't. Anyway, woohoo! Whee! Boop! No, button.